So do keep in mind that the form that you associate with the Greys, the slender, sometimes tiny bodies, the large heads, the large eyes, the small sense organs, the small nose, the small ears, the small mouth, keep in mind that this form is not limited to one species. This form is not limited to any particular region of the cosmos. What we will say is the following. The Greys, because there are many factions within their umbrella of DNA, because of this, there have been many breakaway factions that have utilized what you would consider to be technologies that embody the skills you describe as teleportation and time travel. Many of these breakaway civilizations traveled to various regions of the cosmos. Many of them began to further hybridize themselves with the genetics of the local species that they encountered within those particular regions of the cosmos. Some Greys were able to find, you could say, a healthful path of evolution because they broke away from what you call classically the Grey Federation before it really tanked and genetically edited itself into a corner. So they left before this. They had ideological differences in perspective, in opinion, in relationship to all that is. So these breakaway civilizations made homes in different regions of the cosmos. They are no longer genetically bound to one another. They have evolved in their own way with other species, with other genetics. Some of them have gone through ascensions. This is why some of you experience luminous Grey beings when you encounter the Greys. This is also why some of you can experience hybrid Grey beings when you encounter the Greys. And this is why some of you experience classical Grey beings when you interact with the Greys. That is what you are tuning into here. The Greys that embodied residence within the system that you call Zeta Reticuli, these are Grey beings that worked with a variety of founder-based species. The beings that are reminiscent of ant people, ant humanoid-like beings are present within Zeta Reticuli. Mantis beings, founders, are present within Zeta Reticuli. Certain reptilian groups are present within Zeta Reticuli. And there are adventurers from different civilizations, scientists from different civilizations, some of them more humanoid, that are exploring Zeta Reticuli. So it is a less human system, but became more human when certain factions of the Grey Federation that broke off the main aspects of the civilization began to occupy Zeta Reticuli. The founder beings, the mantid beings, they are not limited to Zeta Reticuli. They have multiple locations within the cosmos that they occupy. There is a connection that they also share with the star relevant to Scorpio that you call Antares. And there is also a population of Grey beings proximal to this star. And they have a level of relationship, the Greys and the Mantis beings. Their relationship has to do with the hybridization program. It has to do with technological exchange, technological innovation. It has to do with genetic alteration and healing. It also has to do with what many of you on Earth would describe as shadow work. Because the Greys, many of them, edited out emotions. There are still Greys with emotions. You'll encounter this. But there are many that are cold. So they do not have the, you could say, indication signals that let them know emotionally something's out of balance. They're numb to this. But this does not mean there are things that are not out of balance just because they can't feel it. So the Mantis beings also assist the Greys in facing their own shadow. And it is a very different approach that is taken than what is taken on Earth when shadow work is performed. So the Mantis beings have many levels of relationship with the beings that you call the Grey, which the Bashar has described as the Maze, referencing the specific lineage of Grey beings that were produced by the Anunnaki, or what you call Anunnaki. Remember, that's a Sumerian word. used to represent species that are much more ancient. Do keep this in mind.